Welcome back everyone to part 3. Today we're gonna animate the scene we built in part 1 and part 2. First, let's delete the old camera we created in the previous part. It was just for testing. Next, we need to ensure the device is perfectly centered. Select the base, press N to open the slide panel, and check the Transform tab to verify its position. Select the main body and jump into edit mode. Select this vertex and move the 3D cursor to it. Switch back to object mode and create an empty. This ensures the empty is perfectly snapped to that vertex. After that, reset the 3D cursor back to world origin. It's time to create a path for our camera. I will add a circle. Make sure it's a curve, not a mesh. Scale it up and apply the scale. Let's add a camera. To quickly snap the camera to your current view, press Ctrl+Alt+0 in numpad. You can fine-tune the view for now. Now go to the Constraints tab. Add a follow path constraint and pick the circle as the target. Then enable follow curve. Second, add a lock track constraint. Pick the empty as the target and adjust the axis settings. And don't try to move the camera from these numbers. This is very important. Finally, open another window. Select the camera and adjust the view. For my setup, I will move it along the X and Y axis and lock the Z axis. Let's start with the animation itself. With the camera selected, go to the Constraints tab. Under the Follow Path constraint, find the offset value. Go to the first frame and insert a keyframe. Then jump to the last frame. Change the offset to your desired amount and insert another keyframe. Select both keyframes in the timeline. Press T and set the interpolation to linear. This ensures a smooth, continuous animation. With the camera selected, go to the Object menu, then Animation, and select Bake Action. Enable these specific options to ensure every frame is recorded. You will notice the camera no longer has constraints or parents. This is because Blender has converted all the complex movement into individual keyframes. It's time to export the data to After Effects. The first step is to ensure you have the After Effects exporter extension. By the way, I'm using Blender 4.5. Go to the Edit menu, select Preference, and go to Get Extension tab. Type After Effects in the search bar. Once you find it, install this extension and make sure it's enabled in the add-ons tab. Then save your preference. Now with the camera and the empty selected, go to File, Export, Adobe After Effects, JSX. I will name the file Tutorial. Check just these specific options. Now open After Effects, go to File, Scripts, Run Script File, and pick the file we just created. It will create a new composition. I will rename it Main. Double click on it and check the frame rate. It should be 24 frames per second. Back in Blender, I want to make sure the data file is correct before hitting the high quality animation render. Go to the Output tab and pick a save location. Then go to the View menu and select Viewport Render Animation. This saves time by rendering a draft quality version, so we can verify the data is accurate. Now import the draft into After Effects. Before dragging it into the composition, right-click the footage, go to Interpret Footage, Main, and change the frame rate to 24 to match our project. Now drag it into the composition, and as you can see, the empty is perfectly aligned with the picture. Now let's head back to Blender to prepare the final render. Make sure your render engine is set to cycles and change the device to GPU compute if you have that option available. For the sampling, set the max samples to 300. Enable denoise and don't forget to enable motion blur. Go to the Output tab and pick your save location. Set the compression to 0% to maintain the highest quality. We will be rendering from frame 1 to 250. Go to the render menu and click render animation. Now let's go to After Effects. I will repeat the same process I used before to import the camera data and the final rendering sequence. Now it's time to create the first string. Create a new composition with the square size. I will start with a new shape layer. Add an ellipse and a stroke. Next, add trim paths. I will animate it, so follow along to get that circular loading effect. Now drag the ring comp to the main composition and convert it to a 3D layer. Adjust the rotation and the position. You can copy the position from the empty. I will duplicate the ring twice. To make each ring unique, remember to duplicate the ring in the project files panel first. Then replace the layers and the main composition. This allows us to modify each ring individually inside its own composition. Now double-click on ring 3 comp. Now let's create the dial marks around our ring. Start by creating a new shape layer and add a rectangle with a fill. Change the color to match your design and adjust the size to make it look like a small tick mark. To create the circular pattern, I will add a repeater. Just follow along as I adjust the transform settings and animate the dial marks to give the user interface more life. Once you are happy with the look, let's head back to the main comp. Now we will animate the position and scale for the second and third rings to add some depth to the animation. I actually forgot to adjust the frame rate for the 3-ring composition. To fix this, double-click on each ring comp. Go to the composition settings and change the frame rate to 24 to match our project. Now it's time to use Element 3D. Create a new solid and add the Element 3D effect from Video Copilot. In the scene setup, I will pick a rock from the default models that come with the plugin. Change the material type from the default to wireframe. Now, with the material selected, search for wireframe and adjust the edge width to something you like. Now back in the composition, adjust the position and the scale of the rock. I will also animate the scale to match the movement of our rings. Change the blending mode of the layer to make it pop. Then go to the Render Settings tab enable glow and set the glow source to luminance to give it that bright, futuristic energy. I will also animate the scale to match the movement of our rings. Now duplicate the element 3D layer. I'm gonna replace the rock with a cylinder model. Apply the same wireframe material we used before, though I will tweak some of the settings to make it stand out. Position the cylinder down. Add the light burst effect to it. Now add the glow effect. Adjust the settings until you find a look you like, and don't forget to experiment. Finally, let's add a Venetian blends effect to the rock to give it the digital holographic texture. I will add light burst to each of the rings. Guys, now it's time for the final touches. Just follow along with me.